Hey everyone, it's Michael, another travel and credit card video discussion. So, I want to recollect about an example I did in my airlines partners and alliance videos, which I'll put up there, where basically I talked about how we can utilize our One World Alliance team, which involves a travel destination from North America to Doha. And one thing I want to utilize is the One World team. And for this example, I'm going to show you different ways of traveling to Qatar via Qatar Airways, British Airways, Iberia, American Airlines, Alaska Airlines, Cathay Pacific, and Finnair. So like I said, we're almost using the whole One World Alliance team, but stay tuned as we're going to get right into it and show you the points, how much it would cost going forward. Let's get into it. Alright, so like I said, we're going from Atlanta to Doha. So let's start first with Qatar Airways. Sometimes the first may be the best. And as I pull up Qatar here and the flight, you're going to see it's only 70,000 points for this great flight to Qatar, and you could be getting that Qatar Q Suites. Unbelievable product I've mentioned in other videos. 70,000 plus a very low tax and fees is one way to get there. And to understand this relationship, as I pull up a graphic here, British Airways, Iberia, and Qatar all use basically the same airline points currency known as Avios. So what that actually means is that you can transfer between the three of them and book flights around the world using those three. And so just want to give you a little bit detail here for British Airways. You tend to stay away from them because they're going to be 70,000 points, but higher tax and fees because of where they're from, the UK. Iberia is the same amount too, and like I said, it's just same 70,000 points, and the taxes a little bit high as well. They're highest, higher, probably not higher than British Airways, but Qatar Airways wins here between these three. As we move to American Airlines, I'm gonna pull the graphic here, 70,000 points as well. But like I said, very limited in how you can get those AA points that I've mentioned in previous videos, but still another option. Let's go to Alaska Airlines once again, 85,000 points if you are in the Alaska Air game, and as I mentioned with the American, very limited in how you can get the Alaska Air, but if you can and you don't have the others, consider Alaska Air. So as we move on to some newer airlines I've talked about, Cathay Pacific, knowing they're a Asian airline, you wouldn't think there, but because of their One World Alliance, you can. And for 75,000 points with some tax and fees, it's not a bad play. Once again, sometimes it really depends on your relationship with your credit cards and if you can use Cathay as a leverage here, which is pretty incredible. And I guess if somehow you don't have any of those, just putting out there as a flyer for Finnair, it's 215,000 points. As I pull up the flight here, it's pretty high. Like I said, just kind of giving everyone all their options here as I want to show you really, the power of alliances. And then just to show you, like I said, I'm just kind of doing this as we go, and you can see Qantas actually is another partner you could use. And as I pull up the search, I just want to let you know that just because you search for a flight doesn't mean you're going to have awardability. And you can see for Qantas, there's no awardability for that specific date compared to the other airlines. So those are the points for each airline. And now what I'm going to do, even though I know we know which goes to where, I'm going to go into a little easier breakdown of which credit card can go to where. So that way so going forward, you would understand even more how it works to transfer these points from which airline, from which credit card company. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, so here is the conversion between the airlines really and the credit card companies that can go to. So we'll start at the top and we'll go right to Qatar Airlines. So if you want to use Qatar Airways, the credit card companies you need, as I'm going to pull a graphic showing you exactly which would be. So for 70,000 points, you're going to need basically direct transfer really is only Citi, but you can use an indirect route of Avios from British Airways and Iberia. So I don't want to give you the graphic from that. So when I go with British Airways and Iberia, then we'll go back and then you can kind of connect the dots. So for Qatar right now, direct ways through Citi, and then indirectly you can do transfer Avios through British Airways and Iberia, which those credit card partners will be applied in the next graphic. All right. So let's move on to the next one here, Cathay Pacific. So like I said, if you have these certain credit cards, as I pull up the graphic here, if you have American Express, you have Citi, and you have Capital One, for 75,000 points, you can transfer that from those credit cards to Cathay Pacific. All right? So let's move on to Finnair. Finnair, if you have these credit cards such as American Express and Capital One, you can use Finnair and you can transfer a good amount of 215,000 points and you can book that flight. Alright, so let's move on to British Airways here. And British Airways has a lot of good transfer partners as you can see here, Capital One, American Express, and hey, here's Chase. Chase. So that's very interesting to see there. And then we go to Iberia, it is going to be Chase and American Express. So like I said, that basically means that if you want to use the Qatar thing, you have actually a litany of partners, not just Citi. You actually have American Express and Chase. So there you can see it spreads very, very nicely there as a flow between the Avios currency. And just to notate, like I said, the last two, we've talked about this in previous videos, but I'll bring the graphic anyway for American Airlines. And like I said, there's only really two ways. I'm not going to mention the Marriott thing just because it's kind of for all airlines generally, but two main ways is through American Airlines, travel credit cards that I'll post the cards here in a bit to show you which cards it is. But yes, the graphic will show you American Airline cards and something I will introduce in future videos, the Built MasterCard, which you can use that card as a travel partner. So stay tuned in the future for that. Literally making that video as we're speaking. And then for Alaska Airlines, it's the same boat. You can only use Alaska Air credit cards, pretty much. And then, like I said, Marriott. But like I said, it's not a really good argument. So as you can see here, that really is clear cut how to really work it. And I want to let you know that there is no secret formula in knowing which one it is. You kind of just pick and choose, as I mentioned with Qantas. And like I said, the point of this video is to show you the examples and the versatility of using alliances to book a flight. So, if you're still staying here, I want to appreciate everyone joining in this video and listening to my tutorial breakdown on credit card transfer bonus, credit card transfer airlines and credit cards, as I really wanted to really magnify what I'm telling to the public and show you a real life example of how to transfer points to book real life flights. So, like I said, as I'm closing here, feel free to subscribe, like, and let me know what you think about what I did. Think about the redemptions. Think about what would you do, really, if you had this flight. Would you choose Qatar? Would you choose Cathay? Would you choose American Airlines? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, as I say always in my videos, life is short. Travel more, everyone. Have a good day, and thanks for watching.